Hey guys, I'm Amar and today we shall talk very briefly about patterns in Photoshop. So what are patterns? Patterns are pretty much images which you can put next to each other in order to make a pattern pretty much. So something what is being repeated. You can see that I've got one texture from World of Warcraft which is just being repeated over and over again, which produces this. And that's something we are going to use quite extensively in these tutorials because we don't want to spend time by drawing hundreds or thousands of tiles or stones or something like that on a huge map. That's something you probably don't want to do unless you really want to make completely hand-painted map, but that's not what these tutorials are about anyway. So how to set up your pattern? Pretty much what you need is to get an image which is seamless or tileable, which is the same. And it means that when you put those images next to each other repeatedly, you can't see any seam between them. You can see those lines here, so you can sort of see that there are many repeated textures or many repeated images. But when you zoom in, you can't see any line or something like that between those separate images. Well, you can sort of see it here, but really sort of, it's not really there. So how to get seamless textures, well, or images? Well, download them, that's one way. So you can just Google free seamless texture of something, of wood, iron, steel, cloth, parchment, whatever is it you need. Or you can extract textures from video games, and that's what I do all the time. I use World of Warcraft textures. So you can just open World of Warcraft MPQ patches with MPQ editor and extract terrain textures from a tileset folder, from tileset directory, and that's what I actually did. I did it with all textures up to Legion, sort of. I've got some Legion textures, but I should have all Warlords of Draenor and other terrain textures here. And that's really hundreds or thousands of textures. So that's my library I keep using all the time. Once you get those textures which are seamless and tileable and so on, you need to open the texture in Photoshop. There's maybe some quicker way, I haven't checked, but what definitely works is getting some texture you need. So let's say we need some cobblestones for some road. Let's say this one is great. Okay, open it in Photoshop, go to Edit menu and define pattern. And now we have defined our pattern and we can use it as a pattern here. There we go. So that's very straightforward and easy. Just edit, define pattern, done. If you want to make sure that something is stylable, you can go to Filter, Other, and use offset here, and offset it by some weird number which is not the same as your image size, and by Ctrl Alt and F, you can see it here, Ctrl Alt F, you can just repeatedly apply that filter, and now you can see that there is no seam appearing there. If I had for example something near to close to edge of my image, what would happen now is that I can see seam. This is where a seam appeared. So if you want to avoid having seams in images, you need to fix them. So what I would really recommend you is to get some texture or some image which is seamless, which doesn't produce effects like this. If you want to change some texture or image into something that is seamless, or if you want to make your own custom texture, if you feel comfortable or ready to do that on your own, well, great. In that case, just paint in the middle of your image. Avoid edges. Never touch edges with your brush. And then just apply that offset filter here. And you can see that now no seams are appearing. I can just keep painting, but always keep to the middle of your image. Never touch edges. And your image will stay seamless. If I turn it into pattern, it's going to be seamless. You can't see any seams here. Okay, so that's the way how to paint or make any image which is seamless in this way. Pretty much you just apply offset filter to offset it and keep painting just in the middle. Or you can paint something and then fix seams. That's possible as well, because let's say that I make line close to the edge, now I move it, I can see seam, okay, now I can fix it by using, I don't know, some tool, just making sure that it's not there, you know, something, whatever I do, seam is gone. It looks stupid, but that's a very quick way of showing how to do stuff, right? Just using offset filter to fix seams or to make sure that there are no seams, and using this edit define pattern here. That's how you set up your patterns. Getting images from video games, that's pretty much individual to video game, so just watch video for that, find some video. In World of Warcraft, it's just in MP2 patches in tileset directory, like I already said. And that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to talk about, just to show you how patterns are being set up. And in the next video we are going to actually use them to make not really a complete map, but I am going to show you how to use patterns and layer effects and so on. So that's it for now, guys. I hope to see you in the next one, and for now, happy map drawing.